Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot. And of course, a great big welcome to those of you who are new. So we're going to do a soulmate snapshot today. So those are short, sweet, no extended video, just kind of looking into something that's maybe on our minds. And you know, I did a let's look into the weekend video on Friday, and a couple people were like, could you do one at the beginning of the week, just to kind of to help us through? And so I don't know if I'm always going to do that, but I'll do it for today, just kind of what we can have in our minds as we're going into this next week or so. As you know, just I'm going to keep the area to about the next week. And just what you need to know. So it'll be a general reading, won't resonate with everybody, shouldn't resonate with everybody. But if it does resonate with you, then you may want to go back and look at some of the other readings that have come through for this collective, because they are incredibly connected. And since we have new people arriving kind of all the time, I like to make sure that I say that in pretty much every video. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm making this an all mermaids reading for you today. This is an oracle deck, so we're going to get concepts from this deck that answer our questions, and then we're going to clarify with some tarot. A little bit different for this reading. So basically, what we're looking for here is the energetic and emotional backdrop for the week. And so this may not be how every day goes for you, but it's just kind of something that's hanging out in the background that may be impacting you even in your soulmate situation, since this is a soulmate directed sort of reading. Let's see, we have the future and contentment. Now these, I'm not going to read these in the reverse because I don't feel like I should. There is thinking about the future. We know there's been a lot of fantasy, a lot of dreaming going on. Yesterday's reading was about that, and it was a very inspired reading and a highly requested one. Also, this feeling of peace that is rising in you may be pinging nicely off of this contentment vibe. So there's thinking about the future, and there's a sense of contentment that shows up here in this energy. Let's look in a little bit more deeply. And again, this is just kind of the energy of the week that we're heading into. You've got that love opening up. So this is one that has been coming up in the readings quite a bit, particularly for your person. Came up a lot with regard to the fantasy and the dream energy. It has to do with that increase in capacity for emotion, for love in general. It's kind of, or love specifically, but emotion in general. And there is that future kind of sense to it, but there's also this feeling with the moon in the reverse, feeling like making decisions with less information and just being okay with it. There's also this feeling with the sun in reverse, like it's okay if there's a missed opportunity. And that's interesting because we see the sun in reverse coming out as a missed opportunity a lot. We also know there's one coming, probably coming up here in the near future, just from one of the readings that we saw here recently. That might have been the Friday reading. So this is about that. Maybe it's about something that was missed over the weekend, but it feels like it's the more important message that's coming out with that is it's going to be fine. So we saw before that whatever it is that gets missed, it comes around again, but it comes around a little differently, and it doesn't have the same boom to it. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is about having invested something, card of investment. And it feels like there is a sense of kind of waiting for something to happen, or a feeling of waiting. It's definitely waiting. It could just be waiting for something to go by, waiting for some time to go by. There is a sense of being able to make things happen this week. So that's a beautiful thing. But with the Page of Cups, some of what's going to happen there isn't going to be communication that you make. I wouldn't say you aren't receiving it, but I would say that there are going to be at least a situation or two where you're going to say, oh, here's a communication I was considering making that I'm going to go ahead and pull back on. Okay, so the King of Wands here, there is a strong desire to guide your situation or to control your situation, maybe more than is appropriate. And this is also going to be strong with your person. This is very much energy that would be impacting both of you. And here we see this Wheel of Fortune in the reverse again. This is about getting in the way of your own progress, but not knowing. So it reminds me of the viewer who I've quoted several times now, who said, I blocked myself by blocking this other person. And I'm paraphrasing, but I think what she said was blocking him blocked me. And essentially that's what's happening here. There's some degree of blockage that's being engaged that creates a problem and makes it so that nothing can move forward. So there is a little bit of a frustrating element there with that, but more that it's almost like that push from the King of Wands and the desire to control is part of the problem. I get the sense that part of the solution is not engaging something, though. With that Page of Cups in the reverse, I think that's good to see. Okay, so let's look at what else you need to be thinking about as we go into this week. So you've got miracles. Okay, and it's a standalone. So miracles, there is a sense that things may happen that you don't necessarily expect to happen or weren't thinking were even an option. We've seen some discussion around your person reaching out. I've gotten a couple of notes that are saying basically, I haven't heard from this person in years, and I fully expect to continue not hearing from this person. This is the sort of energy in which that may change. We've got the Knight of Swords, which is a direct movement forward. It's very decisive, very insistent, very driven, and not taking no for an answer kind of energy. We've also got this Five of Wands, which is, it's a struggle energy, but it's a willingness to struggle the way that it's coming out here. That's really interesting. Have to see what that ends up being. So something, you enter into a struggle knowingly, willingly, but not necessarily feeling like you're going to win. And I don't want to uncover I want to leave the miracles word uncovered because I think we can probably do that. And still get everything out here. There's a decision that needs to be made. This is not going to be an easy week as far as that goes. So there's definitely some sort of decision that has to be made, but a balance that needs to be struck as well. And it definitely has that sense of juggling. You're juggling something. You're juggling some sort of message. I know there's a message that's not going out, but there's something that is being juggled because there's something that isn't being communicated that honestly is quite important to the situation. So a feeling of something as information is coming out, and it is coming out, but it's only partial. There's something very important missing from this. I get the sense that you're likely to overcome it, but it may be too little too late. And that may be fine as well, because I don't think any mistakes get made here on your part. But you may get to a place where you say, you know what, this is taking too long. I'm just kind of not going to engage this right now. And that's all right. But it could be construed as trying to control your situation. So again, with this Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, it could end up kind of getting in the way. So don't slam any doors this week. Certainly not as they relate to your soulmate situation. If you want to be quiet and not say something that you think might create a slam door, or not send a message that says we're over, there's something here that has you not communicating where you have an opportunity to communicate, and then also has you not ending the situation in a way that ultimately would cause your road to be longer, I guess. So you've got the Lover's card. I still get the sense that there's not a ton of forward movement. You may hear from your person and still not necessarily experience the forward movement that you would hope in this situation. But it doesn't necessarily mean setback either. It could simply be, they engage you and you wait a few days to get back. And by the time anything really happens with that, it's next week or something. Although I don't get the sense that's the case with most of you. It just feels like there's this strong bond with you, but not necessarily a lot of opportunity to engage it. In some cases, it's very quiet and you just feel the energy moving in the background, which may have its own element of frustration to it. Okay, so you have the Queen of Pentacles here in the reverse. This is your own self-worth flagging. So watch for that, because it feels like a perception and it feels like it's brief. I don't think this is something that impacts you for a long time, but it's like you're going to have, oh man, it feels like a reminder of a time when you felt powerless. It's not going to be that same situation. You're not actually going to be powerless, but you're going to have a reminder of a time when you felt powerless. Look back on that miracles energy, because sometimes, again, not having the full picture means that something could come across like a miracle, and it's because you couldn't possibly have known, you know. So let's see what you should be doing with this, because it feels like a week where everything changes and yet nothing changes. Let's find out what you ought to be doing about it, because I already see the sense of, with the warning that comes with that Wheel of Fortune in reverse, don't be the one getting in the way of your own success here. That's very important. And with the Lover's card in the reverse, oh, we do want both of them. With the Lover's card in the reverse, just know things could feel a little bit frustrating, but I feel like, just like with this Queen of Pentacles, it's very temporary. So we have the Patience card and the Re-Energized card. This is about taking some time over the next few days to truly think through things for yourself. That's going to help you with the re-energizing, and just recognizing that in this energy there is a tendency to, I don't know if it's be patient or hesitate. I think it kind of depends on the situation, but there's a tendency not to jump the gun on things in this energy this week. I am definitely feeling that on both sides. It's a pervasive energy, so it's something that's going to be surrounding a lot of people. Feeling like a desire not to jump the gun, but also them reaching out to you doesn't feel like jumping the gun. Feels like it's premeditated, feels like it's been going on in their mind for a while. In some cases, it feels like they have cut themselves off from it, made sure that they were not able to do it, but something gets through in some cases. So you have a Page of Swords here in the reverse. This is you just kind of wanting to lay back and, you know, read a book and not have to engage anything. So we know that there is some sort of social opportunity. You may not feel super inclined toward it, and that social opportunity comes from previous readings. The last couple, actually a few, I think it may have come up a few times. There is something here where you're going to, with the process of this re-energizing, you come out like 10 pounds lighter socially, or not socially, but in your soul. Socially. Sorry. You're going to come out feeling like your soul is a good 10 pounds lighter. It's a very relieving sort of situation that happens, but not necessarily one that you go into thinking that this is what you want to do. So if you're more on the introverted side and you don't think about a social situation energizing you, it may be that this is one that does, and that it kind of surprises you. Or this might be one of those situations where you get into it and you realize you didn't want to get there, but you're glad you did. Okay, so we have the High Priestess. Secrets coming undone. These are not the kind of secrets that really like tear a place down, but they are not to be trifled with. There is something that happens here that changes here, that actually changes things for you. It's going to throw you off balance for a little bit, but this is, again, a temporary experience. You might have already been feeling a little off balance to begin with. This is not going to help matters, but it is something that it is going to help matters. It just doesn't help you feel that sense of balance in the near term. It's a little tough to work through. There's a change. There's a change coming, but it's one that allows rebirth in a new way. So it's like something is dying and something else is being reborn. There's a strong sense of different perspectives on this, and not necessarily being able to slow down enough with the Six of Swords in reverse here, not necessarily being able to slow down enough to explain things for people, and you're not encouraged to do that. However, there's a strong sense of you learning to partner in a whole new way, or being engaged in some sort of partnership that you did not expect. And that could be your person. I don't know that it specifically is. It doesn't feel like it is, but it also doesn't feel like it isn't. Because when I look at something like that, the first thing I think is these folks will want to know if this is their person. And this is indecisive, definitely an indecisive sort of energy, but it does have that feeling of, okay, so if you you're not encouraged to reach out to them necessarily. There is also a message that may be unrelated that you may not want to send. If they reach out to you, which in this energy they might, you're not necessarily being told not to talk to this person or anything, but you are being told that, it's kind of a take it slowly, whatever this is. Don't rush into anything. You may be completely capable of moving more quickly or managing things better. Something about the person that you're partnering with is not. And there is also going to be some element of what feels like depression to break through. That one may surprise you, but it is easily solved. It is easily solved by dropping something that is not that isn't your responsibility. We've talked about this before, where you're able to maybe drop some things that don't have to be your problem. Or maybe they're your problem, but they can't be your responsibility because you don't have any control over them. You may be accountable for things that are not your responsibility, or that you cannot control. But you should not be responsible for things that you cannot control, because that's inaccurate. I feel like there's another card that wants to come out here for you. So you have a very steady on till morning sort of energy for this week. You're being encouraged to kind of keep doing, do what you're doing, but this concept of re-energizing that comes out here, I think, is also very important. So it's being able to see the positive, and then when you see the positive in something, kind of reach out and enjoy that. Reach out and enjoy it. Take it into consideration. Go when you don't feel like going. That's okay. So this other one came out face down. Go to something where you don't feel like going. There's the strongest sense of it's like what came out earlier, where I said you may be somebody who's an introvert and who's not energized by groups of people. You're encouraged to do the thing, whatever the thing is. Let me know what the thing is, but whatever it is, you're encouraged to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, there's not an extended on the end of this one. This is just a soulmate snapshot, kind of what's going on. And in this case, what's going on with your person. And let's focus for this week. So you may hear from them, even if you're not expecting to. There's a good chance that you're going to want to cut off some sort of communication that could potentially have come from you. But there's a partnership that's building. Allow yourself to be re-energized and show up to the thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. Thank you for being here with me, and I will see you again tomorrow.